Can't forget the promises of change, and the promise that my life ain't left up to simple chance. Man, inventor of the slogan, my word is my bond. His word separated earth from sea without a magic wand. Best life fixer upper, yeah, he's a master carpenter, constantly building me without any lumber. Won't retreat, withdraw, backtrack, renege, resign. He said my future is all mine.
Hey everybody, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are and watching this. Good whatever time of the day it is for you. So this is another Let Your Hair Down segment, and if you haven't seen the first one, go and see it. It's about baby daddies and child support. So it was addressing the men, and this time I wanted to address the women. I do want to go back, do a second part to the baby daddy, but I first want to start the dialogue with women. So let's get to the baby mamas, a topic where men are like, yeah, maybe not, I don't know. And the women probably saying the same thing because you think I'm just going to be one-sided because I'm a woman and I'm a single mom, and yeah, but I want to just be a little realistic. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a long time. I was thinking that I was going to do it in a different form, which it still may happen, so I won't really tell you what that's about. But let's talk about baby mamas for a second, all right? And one of the main things I wanted to talk about is how you treat your baby daddy. Men, so I'm sure you want to keep listening. Women, please hear me out. So a lot of times what happens is when the two separate, the man and woman separate, whether it's a divorce or whether it is a relationship that goes wrong and there's kids involved, moms especially, because they're the ones who typically keep the kids or have full custody of the kids. I'm not saying that that's every case, but that's majority of the case. And a lot of times what moms like to do, and I'm not saying all moms, just throwing that out there, but a lot of moms like to talk bad about the baby daddy, whether it's around the kid or whether it's to the kid. Okay, so let me tell you what that does. It really just creates this monster to the kid. Now maybe you want that, and I mean, whatever, maybe he is. But at the end of the day, it is not your place to do that. It is the place of the child to make that choice for themselves. I know there's a better word I'm looking for, but whatever. So what happens is the kid gets hurt, and that's basically what happens. The kid gets hurt because you're talking about their dad, right? You're talking about he ain't paying child support, he don't ever spend time with the kids, he always making promises, he never comes through, he never keeps his word, and just all this stuff, right? Or he out here getting other people pregnant, or he out here doing X, Y, and Z. And you're either like I said, talking to the kid, or you're talking to someone else around the kid. And again, you don't know what built up aggression. You're either putting in this child to go against their father, or you're putting a lot of hurt and burden on the child, right? I can speak on this. Once again, I've been there, I've done that. I grew up in a single household, and I did grow up hearing a lot of bad things about my father. And so let me tell you one of the things that I did. I did have a good still do have a good relationship with my dad. But what happened was, one of these random times, because I've always defended him, So what it really did is it also created tension between me and my mother, because I defended him because I'm like, this is my dad. I love him and he has a relationship with me. He does great things with me and all this stuff. Not knowing the full story. I mean, of course, there's more to the story than that. From a child's perspective, this is all we see. But from a mother's perspective, I get why she was feeling the way she was feeling. I get it. So I get both sides as a parent and as a child. So as a child, I'm just like, why is she always talking about my dad? So I would always defend him. Maybe not verbally, but in my mind, I'm defending my dad. He's good, he's this, he's that, whatever. So it caused some friction between my mom and I felt like even if it was just underlying, maybe if it never was discussed, right? So one time my dad wanted to whoop my sister for something that she did to me. My sister was mean to me when we were growing up, but she's younger than me. But anyway, something happened. He was gonna whoop my sister, and all of those things that my mom would say came up inside of me, and I got angry. And I was like, "You're not whooping my sister," So it became, all that anger went towards him, and of course it created some dialogue, which was good, so we can get some things out. But I was mad at him. Like, all the stuff that she was mad at him about, I, at that moment, got really upset about him because I started calling him out on this, and you did this, and you did that, and you did this. So, of course, that's not what God wants. Let's be real. And then once we clear that up, of course, moving on, though, like I said, there was always a hurt in me. It was just like, a lot of times mothers take it out on their kids too. Like, not only do they talk bad to their child about the father or to other friends, but sometimes they talk to the kid, right? So if you're talking to the kid like, oh, you just making your dad bigger than what he is, or you go be with him then. If you want to be with him, be with him. Like, it's a hurt that you're putting inside of a child. And then on top of that, it's like your child did not choose to be his child. Like, it's not the child's fault, right? So they're the innocent one in the picture. So all I'm saying is, I'm just encouraging that you let your child see for themselves what kind of man that man is. Now, yes, it will hurt them. It will, but don't be the hurt for them. Like, don't be that person to hurt them with your words. Let them see. I mean, you can even set it up to let them see eventually as they get old enough to, or mature enough to take what it is. And I'm just saying, like, for instance, if he's a father who's always promising things, always promising things. I'm not saying, like, always cover it up. But for me, like, I won't tell. Like, as an example, I won't tell my child that he's coming to visit if I know his word is, like, boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always saying he's going to do something, he's not going to do it. I might protect my child in that way. I'm not going to lie for him. Like, oh, maybe not this time because whatever. To each its own. If you do that, fine, whatever. I just don't want to lie to my kid either. But I will just not tell my kid. Like, if they say they're coming, I'm like, oh, we'll see. If they tell the kid, we'll see what happens. We'll just see. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, he ain't gonna come. He ain't gonna come. Now, if they get older, and this, again, this is just an example, and the kid's like, hey, he said blah, 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 blah. And as a parent, you're like, okay, well, I hope that works out, blah, blah, blah. And then if it doesn't happen, did it happen? Did it work out? Oh, so what did he say? Like, let them come up with it themselves, whatever that feeling that they have towards him. I just don't want it to be the mom, because again, you're not hurting him. He's getting sleep at night. I promise you, he's getting sleep at night. He's not thinking about what you have to say about him. It may sting for like 10th of a second just because y'all are arguing, whether it's through text, email, or phone conversation. But at the end of the day, he gonna get some sleep and he gonna move on to the next, right? What it does is create, like I said, it creates a burden on the kid. Like a huge burden on the kid, and that's, again, the most important thing, and that is why we're having this conversation, because we're thinking about the kid in that single, or that broken up relationship, or that broken up marriage. So all I wanted to say, ladies, this is, again, just a little piece that I wanted to talk about, but this is a piece that I feel like a lot of people do. It's just very, very popular for a parent to dog out the other parent to the kid, or at the kid, or around the kid. And that's all I'm just saying. Like, just think of the kid. Like, I promise you, that kid may act like they're okay. They're soaking it all in. They're like little sponges. They're soaking it all in. And either A, like I said, they're going to be mad at you. They're going to be mad at him because of you. Or they're going to just have this deep hurt. Like a deep hurt that they may carry for as long as whenever they can just get over it, And like, your kid shouldn't have to go through that. It's not the kid's fault. At the end of the day, it's not the kid's fault. You chose the man. I mean, what can you do, right? And if they have a good relationship with their father, cherish it. Allow them to have a good relationship with their father. I mean, that is, we need relationships with our fathers. That's why young ladies are having boy issues, men issues, self-esteem issues, and just like they need to have good relationships with their mother for other reasons, boys and girls. So, you got the boys out here lacking fathers or father figures or men, real men in their lives, and they're just doing whatever, trying to survive out here, thinking what they're doing is right. They're trying to figure it out. So, ladies, encourage a relationship with the fathers. I will say that. Encourage the relationships, even if you can't stand them. Like, you can't even, sit in the same room with them. Like, they getting on your last nerves, even the mention of their name. At the end of the day, the child deserves a chance to have a relationship with their father. A child deserves a chance to be loved by that man and be guided by that man and be taught by that man. A man's word holds so much weight. And I just thought of something else. If that man's teaching is horrible, guess what? Either A, I know it's kind of hard to be like, he out there, like, he's not the good teacher, he's not the good leader, he's not the good man example. At the end of the day, it's kind of your fault again, but I mean, at the same time, you just have to be a good teacher yourself and finagle your way through his teachings to get them to the right teachings, if you know what I mean. It can start with being at home, it can start with church. I know that it's kind of sucky, but at the end of the day, we still can't control, unless, like I said, if it's traumatic, like he's abusive or, all that type of stuff. I'm not talking about that. That's like a whole nother story. I'm not saying like he's doing things that's going to harm the kid mentally or physically or sexually or anything like that. But I'm just talking like these men out here that are trying, or maybe they're not trying hard enough. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're late with them. So just wanted to drop that little thing out there with let your hair down segment. So ladies, I would love to hear what you have to say. You can agree with me or disagree with me, and I get it, but I'm just speaking off my own personal situation and how it made me feel as a young girl, and my relationship with my father. So and men, please comment as well. I would love to hear your feedback as well on this matter, because we need to have a dialogue. I think it needs to happen because the more we talk about it, the more healing can happen, the more understanding can come about, and the more educating of each other's perspectives can come about as well. So maybe we can all learn from each other, and I know I can learn from you. So please, like I said, just comment below and let's talk about it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and share this if you'd like. And yeah, and we're going to do this thing together. We're going to learn together. We're going to grow together. And let your hair down with Shanté M. King, aka Embrace. That is capital M, capital B, Race.